Hey, how's it going, everybody? Happy Sunday, and thank you for coming along to another episode of the Big Ticket with me, Vic3, and my guy, Jerry Lee from Backyard Birds Podcast. How we doing today, my guy?
Awesome, man. Awesome. Just getting over being sick.
Yeah, we've all been dealing with it, man. It's been rough. This bid and this cold and flu season, it's been rough on everyone, man. T's and P's to everyone. I hope you're able to get through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Well, let's kick things off. We've been out for a little bit. Like we said, everyone's been sick. Everybody's been dealing with some things, and we're back on today. So appreciate everyone for coming through. But I thought, this week we should kick it off right. So I reached out to my guy Gio from the 215. To talk about the game yesterday. Excuse me, the senior game yesterday, Senior Bowl. And I wanted to get him in here to get his thoughts. So without further ado, let's bring in my guy Gio from the 215. What's going on, Gio? How we doing today?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Miami as well. I am going through that same bug right now as we speak. I don't, usually got the camera on, but today I look like, straight pale, you know. But I'm glad to be a part of my guys here. It's been a while, especially with Jerrylee and Vic3. We worked in the past, I'm back and we together on this show.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. And let me just, shout out to people in the chat. Jalen Williams, appreciate you for coming through. Hey, Jay Milton, my guy, both of you is very loyal. I appreciate you both. But yeah, my guy, listen, we all seen yesterday what took place. We're here today to talk about, the Senior Bowl. Yesterday was a pretty good game. Final score ended up being the national team winning by 20 points to Americans 10. We seen some breakout players. We've seen some players that may have reverted back, but we'll get into all that. But like I said, it was Senior Bowl week. This is where most of the top talent in college gets invited to a bowl game, and it makes a lot of careers. It boosts a lot of people's stock value, but it also brings a lot of people's stock value down, and it brings them down to reality. Really, there's a lot of hype around these players, and when you come to Senior Bowl, it's the best of the best. It's the guys that are coming into the NFL, and, they get separated a little bit. But let's get into it, man. Gio, let me ask you a quick question. During practice this whole week, was there a player that stood out to you?
Yeah, Christian Watson from Dakota State, the wide receiver from there. He
Hmm.
definitely stepped up that game and stood out to me. There's a lot of names out there, but he was one that stood out. Especially that when him and Pickett was under the helm. Remember that underthrown? It was I don't know if it was a busted play or busted coverage, but he came back for that ball, and made a quick adjustment on that play.
Yeah, he was out there. He was doing his thing. He looked great. He was one of the guys that I thought their stock had increased. He had a good week of practice. But yesterday, he showed that he could play in the NFL. His stock was one of the ones that did clearly rise yesterday.
Yeah, dude,
Jerry
that was a
Lee,
38-yard. Yeah,
yeah,
that catch. So that was an eye opener for everybody.
yeah, he blew that defense up. They
Hmm.
weren't even ready for him.
Yeah, I thought
But
I thought I thought Ritter
but
was okay.
yeah, for me, his name is here, but the quarterback out of Cincinnati really impressed me. Malik Wills, his name was thrown around. A lot of people were giving him credit for that 37-yard run. To me, that was the only highlight he had. That was the only good thing, that I saw out of him. But the quarterback out of Cincinnati, he proved that, he was ready for the competition. He was ready for the game. Nothing scared him away. And I think he played a lot better than Willis. And I think his stock should be one of the ones that have been rising.
Yeah, Willis. I didn't think he played that good. To be honest with you, he overthrew a lot, and yeah, he's got a big arm, but without accuracy, what are you?
Yeah, there was a couple of sloppy throws out there. I saw one where he was trying to throw a deep ball, but he was just backpedaling the whole time, had both feet off the ground, and then threw the ball. You got
Hmm.
to plant your feet if you're trying to get the ball downfield. That's rule number one.
Yeah.
So I've said it throughout the whole year. I think that he should have stayed in college. It would have benefited him for another year. He could have
Hmm.
learned more, progressed more. But it is what it is. When your name's hot, you got to make that move.
That's true. Or go to like a more competitive school, to face
Yeah,
other competitors. Transfer. For
that's
sure.
another move. That's another move.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, Gio. Um, was there any player during this week or during yesterday's game that failed to meet your expectations?
I mean, honestly, Malik Willis, honestly. That's who I was watching. I wasn't too hyping about it. There was a couple runs he had good runs, but like for instance, like I don't want another running quarterback. His arm is there. His vision
Mhm.
downfield is there too. Like he'll literally know when to throw the ball. But it's I'm just kind of tired of the running quarterbacks in his league. I want to see something different. Something like a Josh Allen type, like hybrid. He can stay in the pocket, release that ball, playing his feet well. Play action is there. If it's not, he can take off.
Definitely, definitely. Jerrylee, anyone that failed to meet expectations for you?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I only caught a little bit of the Senior Bowl, but yeah, I mean, I think Willis could have did better, but he was facing more competition. So from what I'd seen of him, so
Yeah. Listen, I think I'm gonna have to agree with the board so far because for me, I didn't have much expectations, but the little expectations I had for Willis, he didn't meet them at all. Like I said, that one good run, that was okay. But again, that's something that now when you look at the quarterback position, for the most part, you have to be a runner. You have to be good in the pocket. You have to be a good passer. These are things that now you're expecting out of the quarterback position. It's okay to be a runner. You get yourself out of trouble, you can extend plays. But again, what happens after that? I need more substance out of my quarterback. And I don't think Willis is there yet. So yeah, like everyone said, I know it sounds like we're beating down on the kid, but again, it's not. It's I don't think he was ready to be in the NFL draft. A lot of people were astounded by his physical attributes, but again, they weren't fully put on display. He hasn't honed everything in at once. And I don't know why you think for him to come in the NFL, if he's in a position where he may have to start, how do you think his development is going to work out? He's going to be starting from behind. So it's going to be for me, it's going to be very tough for someone to look at Malik Willis in the first round. If it is, maybe you're a team that's on the back end that's trying to have quarterback learn for a couple of seasons. Then that's pretty good for him. But if you're looking to have a starting quarterback or a franchise quarterback, well, right now Willis is not the guy.
no, definitely not. He's a project.
Yeah, a big project right now, the way it looks. Let me ask you all a question, and I'll start off with you, Jerry Lee. Um, what players' stock do you think had increased after the week of practice in yesterday's game?
Um, I'm gonna. There's two I wanna name off. I mean, because I seen Wilson, hitting those targets, boy. It looked like it was just his thumb, when he was playing in those games. But um, I want to say Johnson, that dude Johnson, the edge rusher, he looked good too.
Yeah, definitely, definitely did. Gio, whose stock do you think had increased during yesterday's game?
Kenny Pickett. Hey, my man went 6 for 6. Everybody thought they was gonna do that, and like as far as he had a situational football moment there, and he was nearly perfect. And then Florida, then we got Florida's running back Damien Pierce. That dude like literally stood out to me, man, as well, man. There's gonna be a lot of running back needy teams out there, and you got a dynamic, explosive running back out there that can catch the ball outfield, plus play the north and south as well. So look out for him.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're
Um,
definitely looking for a running back.
Hey man, look, if Eagles grab him, bro, he could probably be a potential second rounder, right? If let's come where we going the combine and then we got pro days. If he does sharp, man, like I said, he's another running back to watch, man, from Florida.
Me as a running backs, I think the kid out of Alabama, Brian Johnson,
Hmm.
man,
Yeah,
that
his
kid's
stock went up too,
physical.
man. Yeah.
And one thing, we all saw the YouTube clip of him blowing up people, pass protection. But that's something that coming into the league, a lot of rookies aren't ready for. They're not ready to pick up that blitz. They're not ready to, to find out who they should be doing. And Johnson has that lock. Now we all know Alabama's a different school. Alabama is pretty much the closest thing we have to a AAA team in college. You know what I mean? But again, the little things are what stand out to me. When you pick up pass protection, you can lay down the wood on a good linebacker. This wasn't just a run of the mill guy that was a third stringer. This was someone who was looked at pretty highly in the draft coming through. And his running style this whole year, great running style, physical running back. I like Brian Johnson. I think for him, if you're asking me, that's a guy I think we should keep an eye on.
Yeah, correct. Because like just going in the NFL, the type of play that's coming on, you need you really need a switcheroo with these running backs now, man. You're gonna need. Remember how back in the day the NFL was just two running backs, we was good. You're gonna need five or six now with the way the defenses are, especially with the hybrids, like just coming off the playing the linebacker position, and then you got some that can go straight rush. So this is the
Yeah.
reason why these teams switch up the playbook a lot with some of these running backs. They're gonna need a mixture of everything.
I think what you're saying, yeah, it's something that I kind of do see in the NFL where now, like running backs, you're
Yeah.
gonna have running backs have specialties. You know, you
Hmm.
got your physical runner, you got your slasher, you got your pass catching running back, you have your blocking back. I think that's something that
Yep.
you're gonna have to utilize. But again, that's something you want all within encompassing one player. But I do see that you see more running backs having specialist roles. So I think that might be something in the future we'd see more in the NFL. But just to answer the question that was at hand, for me, one of the players that stood out was OU defensive lineman Perry Winfrey. I think he got game. I think he ended up with the MVP, but just during this week in practice, blowing tackles up. You seen him in the game, had a great game. The defensive end from Penn State, great game also. Or excuse me, the linebacker, great game. But Perry Winfrey, man, he blew the doors off some people. So I'm very excited, especially with us. Our needs at defensive lineman, defensive end. Listen, they make more noise. I'm here to listen.
Right.
Just looking at the comments in the
Yeah.
section. Let me
Yeah.
see.
I got you.
Yeah, contract that wouldn't depend a lot on it. Correct. Now let me ask y'all a question because we seen who's our risers. We talked about people who we thought fell a little bit. Let me find out where I'm at. Ah, so when you were just talking about has Kenny Pickett for both of you, has he shown enough to be the overall number one quarterback in this year's draft? Gio, I'll start off with you.
He's on the phone.
Oh,
Um.
oh,
Yeah. I'll go. I think so. I think so. He's got the most under his belt, like time in college and the most experience. So, with that being said, that alone, gives him, the kudos. Um, his skill's good too, man. He showed out too the other day, like you guys were saying. So, yeah, I'd go with Pickett first for sure. I mean, Ritter's close too, though.
Ritter, there you go. That was the kid I was thinking about at Cincinnati. It just escaped my head. But yeah, I think when you looked at Pickett yesterday, when he had that command, he was in control. He was calm. You didn't see him go all out, throwing the ball over the place, but he did what you're supposed to do. You get your team down the field and you score.
Sorry
And you
about that,
saw that.
guys.
You saw that play that led up to the touchdown. The throw to the running back, the wheel route to the running back. Great play. Pickett, I don't even think that was his first read. That was like his third read. He made great decisions. A lot of people were talking about Pickett, in his age and the fact that he's a fifth year senior. To me, doesn't bother
There
me.
ain't
It
nothing
tells
wrong
me,
with that.
yeah, it tells me that he had time
He's mature.
to develop. Yeah, he had time to develop. He had time to get everything. You see his mechanics are good. There really
Hmm.
isn't that much that I don't like about Pickett's game. Now, hopefully that translates in the NFL. But when you're talking about the landscape at quarterback right now in this draft, yeah, I think Kenny Pickett is head and shoulders above everyone else. Gio,
Yes,
let me
sir.
get your thoughts on this. Do you feel that Kenny Pickett has done enough to be the number one quarterback in this year's draft?
Hey, I won't be surprised if somebody that needs a quarterback picks him up in the first round. In my opinion, like I said, the planning of his foot, the timing of the releases was damn near perfect. He looked like he was ready to play in an NFL level. But then again, like I said, this NFL is a different type of thing from college or whatever, and from the Senior Bowl. Remember, these are all guys playing in the college level type ish. You want to say all star type game or whatever. So coming in the NFL, we're talking years of experience. We got to see where's he at with not just by the playbooks as far as just calling the calls, adjustments, making audibles or whatever. So reading the defenses as well. Situational ball as well. It's all different, man.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I thought for the time that he had, he played well. Again, the most important thing is he got that team down the field and scored. There was no issue. But as we talked about before, and like I said, his name had escaped me. That's my fault. But Desmond Ritter, what are your thoughts? Like I said, I think he outperformed Malik Willis. I think, to be
It's
honest,
gonna be
out of all
close.
the quarterbacks, yeah, out of all the quarterbacks for me, he played the best. So let me ask you, Gio, what did you think? I got one question too. What did you think of Desmond Ritter's performance yesterday? And let me just throw this in also. How do you think his game will translate into the NFL? Do you think he would be looked at someone like a Jalen Hurts? How, in college had a decent career, goes in, more looked as a mobile guy. Don't know that much about, his reads and him throwing the ball. Do you see him kind of like in that mold?
I mean, we got who's that style type of offense that will work for him? Ron Rivera, Washington football team, man. That's what I'm saying. He could utilize him. Not just Malik Willis. A lot of people got Malik Willis to there, but like, say if it doesn't fall, like he doesn't fall in the Washington football teams. I keep calling them Washington. I keep calling the Demanders. Um, so if they fall, if he falls there, hey, Washington, pick him up, man. Like I said, he fits. He reminds me of that Cam Newton ish type. I don't want to say Cam Newton, but I want to say rest in peace, Steve McNair. I've seen a little bit of Steve McNair in him as well.
Yeah, I definitely could see that. And like I said, I like the way he can, like, even when he was in Cincinnati, I love the way he led that team, how he commanded that offense. Again, we're talking about a Cincinnati team that isn't a top five school, and got him to the finals. That was a lot of improvement in each year that he's had. And like I said, for me, I thought he stood out, during that game yesterday and was probably the best quarterback that played. And I hope, that teams look at him and, they put more interest into him. His stock rises. Because I feel that he's the guy that, might need some time. Maybe, if he's in a tough situation you have him in, he might be one of those players that might surprise you and shine. I like his maturity. I like a lot about the kid. And like I said, I think he outshined Willis yesterday. Willis gets a lot of attention and he didn't get so much. But I think people should be paying more attention to him now.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, like his day one was good, but the day two was as what impressed me or whatever. With that, so that's why I came to that conclusion. Like, if as far as Washington Commanders don't get their quarterback that they need through there, that's another look I would look at.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, even for us, when you talk about it, I understand a lot of people are saying that Jen's our guy and he is our guy. But
Yeah,
again, there's a possibility we may move on for Gardner Minshew. So we'll be looking for a number two. I have no issues having that number two being a developmental quarterback and Desmond
right.
Ritter. That was the thought process when we had Jalen. Now, I'm not saying that we're drafting Ritter to be our franchise guy or to be a starter. I'm just saying I'm trying to get a developmental guy that can come in and be a solid number two.
Yeah,
And if he develops even further than that, might be a possibility we have a trade piece. You can get draft picks for him. I think it
right.
would be a good move for us, depending on the where he's at and what round he falls to.
Get that crank going on that quarterback factory, man.
Yeah, yeah. And everyone talks about we're looking at a quarterback again. I don't think a lot of teams are looking at Ritter as much as I think they should have. So that's why I feel like there's a possibility he may fall. You never know if he gets to the fourth,
Yeah,
fifth round. If
you
that's
know,
the case, then I wouldn't mind taking him.
teams might just be not looking to get a quarterback this year, and they might wait because there's so many other really good players in this draft. You never know what's going to happen in this draft, man. Yeah, I mean, because there's just been so much said, and there's not as much hype. You know what I mean? Like for
Yeah.
quarterbacks, anyway.
And when you think about it, though, with the landscape of free agency, the amount of quarterbacks are out there, we all know about
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, but then you got Jimmy Garoppolo, and you
Yep.
got Kirk Cousins. So there's a good amount of free agent quarterbacks out there, and there's a lot of quarterback needy teams. Depending on what happens in free agency, that'll dictate the draft. But who's to say that maybe owners want to wait until after the draft? I know that's something that's usually done. Free agency. That's the reason why free agency before draft. You try to fill those holes, and then for whatever you get out the draft. But you never know. Maybe there are some teams out there that don't want a veteran, that want to start fresh, and want to have a franchise quarterback. They may want to get their luck to see if they win the lottery and pick a guy that they never thought of, Patrick Mahomes type.
Do you think Kirk Cousins would ever go back to Washington?
I don't think I don't I don't think he would ever close the door because that regime that that he had that issue with his contract, they're gone.
Yeah.
The owner's still there. Everybody knows the owner is a big issue with Washington. But the GM Bruce Allen, they're out the way. So again, we all know Kirk Cousins. If you pay him, he's gonna be on the roster.
Yeah.
So I don't think he would shun them. I don't think he would shun them away. What do you think, Gio?
No, I won't. I don't know.
Cash is king, man.
Yeah, I mean, think about another quarterback team. I think Panthers move on from Sam Darnold, so I don't know. That's what I'm saying. If I don't see if Malik Willis doesn't fall to the Panthers, then yeah, I could see like Sam Darnold not being the guy, and maybe they trade for Kirk Cousins. Who knows? They grab him.
You know what? I don't see the Panthers going for another good quarterback. They're gonna go for a great quarterback. You know what I mean? Like I just can't see them going through used quarterbacks anymore because it's not working for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they're gonna draft somebody.
There's been lots of talks that they're heavy into the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes,
or that. Like they're gonna get an elite quarterback. They're not gonna get a good quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for Carolina, I think especially with Watson, coming from Clemson, that's what I mean. That's a hometown hero right there. I think if they bring him back, depending on the situation with the civil cases and if it becomes a legal case, whatever the case may be, depending on that, if he's free to play, I think Carolina might be the one team that will, between them and Miami, I think they'll be fighting hard together. But yeah, the quarterback landscape right now in the draft and free agency, it's going to be murky. And the one guy that I think I don't want to say ruin it, but I think may dictate it is Kirk Cousins. Because if you look at it, you have the elites in Wilson and Rodgers. Then you have that second tier. Now, that second tier, that's money manageable. Kirk Cousins is on a deal. He's seen that top money. He's not for that top money. We already established that. So I don't think he's going to get a high contract. I think he'll get an average, a decent, fair contract. But the thing is, who's going to offer him that?
He's going to get a pay cut for sure. He's getting a pay cut.
Yeah. A lot of teams say Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh has issues with their cap. There's a lot of moving to be done in Pittsburgh.
I think that's more like Jimmy Garoppolo territory.
A lot of people say him. Yeah. It's murky waters right now. I think once free agency starts, it'll start clear up a little bit, and then once the draft comes through, hey, it'll be crystal clear.
Jimmy G's more like a rental, man.
He's like, yeah, bro. He's like, how can you say it's like that one car everybody still wants to rent out the lot? They just exclude the Tesla and the Challenger there. They just want that car.
That's the same thing with Kirk Cousins too, man. He looked like the sports car, but he didn't run like the sports car.
Now, Jimmy G to me is like if you got like a Jeep group and you just come up with the Geo Tracker, it's a 4x4. You know what I mean? But will they get over the folders?
It's not all-wheel drive.
That's the Jeep.
It's not an all-wheel drive. But yeah, no.
What's good for a place like that? You're coming through.
I don't know. You think they maintain them? Like I just think Carolina, San Fran should just keep them again and just be building. I mean, he took them to the championship twice, got them to a Super Bowl. Like why would you want to trade him and Fix was not broken? Just put another quarterback on the helm just to get his ass nervous. What we got? Trey Lance, right?
With his frying pan.
Yeah, I don't know.
With another steak.
What did anyone really see out of Trey Lance this year? There were some end zone plays that he had. Obviously, some red zone plays that he had, but other than that, I think he had 2 starts.
Yeah, some disguise plays or whatever, and that's it. I mean, that's when I was looking at the San Francisco games and whatnot that I had covered when I was watching them after the games. It was just 2 disguise plays. That's it, man. That's all I seen.
Big play Slayer. I just saw that comment. I'm gonna need you guys to explain yourself after that. Because again, Desmond Ridder outperformed Malik Willis yesterday. He was probably one of the better quarterbacks that played yesterday. So I'm gonna need you to explain yourself, my guy. Again, I talked about before, you weren't here. We're talking about a Cincinnati team that was not a top 5 school making it into the playoffs and going deep in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You got to explain yourself with
got.
that one.
And he was playing against top, players over the weekend too. So,
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he did go against the All American defense that first round, that first rep. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he played. I thought he played well. Like you're saying, he showed command. He showed poise.
Yeah,
Like I said, he played better than Willis, and Willis is still being talked about from that one run. Like they're so. That's the one thing I don't like about them. Like they put so much hype. They gaslight so many players, and then people wonder why there are so many draft busts. Like when it comes to the quarterback position, why are there so many busts? Because you're listening to someone gaslight this kid for only 2 months. Nothing has been talked about. Yeah, we've seen Willis play. Everyone thought, but again, this was his first season. No one automatically thought he was NFL ready.
There's a couple reasons why they gaslight him too. One for the school and two for the player. You know what I mean? Where he's coming from, they're giving him credit for that and for the kid. So
yeah, he put Liberty in the spotlight. Let's be honest. Before I knew of the college. The only Liberty I knew was my high school. You know what I mean? Like my high school was more famous than that college. Oh, let's see what Slay got to say.
Slay? He went against the first reps, bro.
Slay's crazy. Like he'll go against the extreme, against Alabama. Yeah, against the one team, actually the second team in the land. You're talking about everyone in college football against Alabama. Again, they're number 2 for a reason. Georgia got that number 1 spot because they earned it. Their defense are beasts. But then, like I said, when you talk about Alabama, that is the closest thing we have to a AAA football team in college sports. Again, you got to come better than Alabama because I see a lot of guys falter. Again, there's too much when you talk about Alabama. Bring me someone else.
Facts.
Yo, and he went against like another linebacker that was going up. Quay Walker from Georgia, bro. He was out there too. That's what I'm saying. He went against like some of the best prospects out there.
Yeah, and that's why this week is so important because you have your regular season. A lot of guys did great, but now you're playing against the best of the best in college. Let's see how you perform now. And he did. He performed well.
I don't know. This kid's a giant.
I don't know. So you talking about mechanics like you've been in the NFL or something, like you've been coaching some players.
Right.
Come on, man. Don't give me those takes that you already heard about.
I've been watching football as long as you've been alive, son. Trust my take.
Hey, the same things were said about so many quarterbacks. Again, you're talking about mechanics. I got that, but when you look at what Willis did, when you're talking about mechanics compared to what Ritter did, again, Ritter's head and shoulders above. The Navy game. Come on, man. I think Navy's still the only team like out of a wing team.
Hey, look, it's better than being a Michigan State fan, bro.
Gotta give it up to the soldiers,
hey, right? I think I'm like literally the only Michigan State fan out here in Philly, and then we beat Penn State last year, and I was catching wreck for it.
Yo, that hurt so much.
Yeah, bro, I was catching wreck for it.
But Michigan State used to put on some good teams.
Yeah, they did.
Le'Veon Bell was out there killing it.
Spartans.
Yeah, man. Spartans had some very good teams, a lot of good Big Ten matchups. But let me ask you a question, Gio. After watching the Senior Bowl and, after looking at what happened in practice this week, what's the one player that you think the Eagles should draft?
If he falls, I just mentioned him, Quay Walker, man, the linebacker out of Georgia. Pretty versatile. The zone coverage is there. Needs a little bit of work on shedding or whatever. The blocks. That was one thing I didn't see him because they did have him at edge at one point to see where he was at. But I think he'll just be a solid outside linebacker, man, for the Eagles. That's I got him going in the third round, late second round.
Good one. That's a very good one. Jerrylee, who do you think the Eagles should go after in the draft?
Well, it's going to be defensive end first. I know Howie's thinking that. It's either that or quarterback. I'm saying Howie, you know what I mean? What he's going to do. It's either going to be quarterback or defensive end, number one. Do I think he should do quarterback? No. He should definitely just build around the defense if he's keeping Jalen Hurts. If he's going to get a quarterback, if they fall in the second, take it then. But no, defensive end should definitely be his first one. And I like that kid Johnson. I mean, if he doesn't go up and get one of the premier guys like Ojabo or the other dude from Michigan, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I know his name it slips my tongue or whatever. Yeah, you know what? I'm on board with like the first three picks as far as like we do got to get a defensive end. Like I said, they have Jermaine Johnson going higher now because of the stock. So I don't see him like falling on that. But hey, I even got to trade in like two spots up for somebody, for the Eagles. But the one guy like I want the Eagles to draft is Andrew Garner, of course. We need a cornerback. I don't think Stevie Nelson's going to be there. He's going to try to get that payday or whatever, and we do need a linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, if Hamilton's there, he should get him.
I think it's going to be Linderbaum, man. I think
Linderbaum's nice too, but I wouldn't get him there.
With the
not the first one.
No, not the first one. We need an edge. Or we need a solid linebacker that can play like a hybrid style. That somebody can come off the edge as well too. That could shed the block. That could do the pursuit.
Something happened to Vic.
Uh-oh.
So for my first guy, yeah, it's gonna be defensive edge rusher, and then I think the second guy I would go for either Lloyd or Sauce Gardner. Oh, there you are.
Gardner's pretty good. Gardner's good. I would say you couldn't see me.
No, couldn't hear you at all.
Oh, okay. Well, for me, like defense is what stood out to me the most. Like I mentioned, Perry Winfrey. I thought he played great. Um, One guy out of what is it, Western Kentucky, a defensive end, D'Angelo Malone. I thought he was a beast. And the last one for me out of Penn State, I'm a homer, but I think he played really good. Jesse, I believe pronounced Lucetta. I think I'm saying it right. I thought he played phenomenal. Big physical guy. That's something that we're looking at the DN slash linebacker. He kind of fills that Gerald Avery kind of position. Younger guy, real physical, fast. There were a lot of guys that I was taken away with yesterday. Because of what I saw during the week in practice. Then what I saw during the game. A lot of guys showed up. But a lot of guys for me, defensively, they stepped it up. There's a lot of talent in this draft. I think it's going to be hard. I don't want to say it's going to be hard for Howie to screw this up, but again, there's so much there. For me, it would be disheartening if he messes this draft up because the amount of talent that's out there, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
And being that there is so much talent in this draft, I don't know if I would push a one till next year. I would just draft all this year because there is so much talent.
We'll get to that in a little bit. We'll get to that stuff in a little bit. We gotta, tease up the crowd.
Sorry, man. I got my hand in the cookie jar.
No, you fine. You fine. All right. Well, let's get to it. Let's do a little mock drafting. So let's get into that GM mode. Let me ask you first, Gio. Would you move up in the first round? Or excuse me, would you take one of those first round picks, just like Jerry was saying, and kick it on down next season, or maybe look into something else? What are you doing? Are you staying tight with these first 3 round picks, or are you going to move one of them?
I'm moving one of them up in the draft. Just in case.
Oh, so you're going up.
Yeah. So listen, even if we can't get a defensive end, like at the big names, hey, if George Carla Fitz is there, bro, I would take it, man. I see him falling like 12 or 11, bro, because I seen he was playing good in the Senior Bowl, but I don't think he'll go that high. But that's just my scenario, honestly.
Yeah. Jerrylee, are you kicking the can down the line, or are you using it to move up like Gio? Or are we staying put?
I'm staying put, man, and I'm going 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of guys in this draft that you could probably get where you're at.
I'm just and Puerto Rico. I'm just scared that Ojabu will be taken early. That's why I was like, I want to move up. Yeah.
Now, depending on how the draft board is, and depending on which players are there, would really depend on if I move up or not.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like if there was a way I could skip over to Giants to get somebody, I might do
Yeah.
that. You know
Well,
what I
we all
mean?
know who that target would be because Giants fans are head over heels for Linderbaum. And I
Yeah.
said it earlier. For me, I'm not trying to pick a center in the first round. But
No.
if their heart is set on a center, I would say before the Giants make their move, take their guy again. Because again, listen, I don't follow this guy. I've only seen this highlight. I need to see another cop pizzle blow up. I need one more blow up.
yo, if we do it again,
Could you imagine that
you
scene,
see all
bro?
their fans. It's gonna be like the wave, bro.
But I hope it wouldn't bite us in the butt when what I'm saying, trying to get too greedy.
Right, right.
But for me, I would stay with the three picks. I would stay tight at 15, 16, and 19, unless someone says, "Hey, let me get 15 or 16, and you're moving to 17 or 18, and you end up with a first round pick next season." Hey, that takes care of both needs. I don't have to kick another pick now, and I still have three for this season, and I still have my pick next year. I think that would be the only way I would make a move. If not, I would stay put. I'm not moving up at the moment. I'm not moving back because again, you never know how this draft's going to fall out. A lot of times when GMs make decisions before the draft to move up, once that draft happens, you find out you may have not needed to do that. That player would have fallen. So I don't want to make that move too prematurely. Now, if there's a situation in the draft where say we're trying to move up maybe one or two spots for a player that is really needed, say in job, say it's that person. I might be inclined if it's one or two spots, you're not really giving up much. That you may have to give up, hey, maybe a second round, maybe two second rounds. As long as it doesn't really affect us that much and it's a quality player, I may be convinced into.
Yeah, like
But
Jermaine
that
Johnson.
yeah.
that dude
Well,
is so good,
he
man.
he's one guy that I saw play up against what was the kid out of Western Kentucky. For me, he's not the one that fell the most, but I think his stock fell a little bit. And the fact that he didn't play yesterday, I don't know if it was injury or I don't know if he may have gotten showed up one or too many times. But I think for me, his draft stock fell just a little bit. He may be out of the first round for me. He may be a second rounder.
Regardless, we should get him.
Hey,
Yeah.
if he's in the second, by all means, by all means.
Hey, look, I ain't gonna be mad with picking up two defensive ends because we need it anyway.
Hey, would you
Oh
mind
yeah.
if we pick up like Stingley in one of those picks? Like if Gardner's not there, like if he's just there, I'll pick him.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And when you think about it too, I'll be honest, Garner's a great player, but when you're talking about the talent from LSU compared to Cincinnati, yeah, he's played great. And I'm not trying to say just for the fact that you come from LSU, you're automatically a better player. But when you're coming from LSU, you've been playing against top talent all season.
Yeah.
The SEC is nothing to play with. SEC is probably the best division in college football, I feel.
Yeah.
So those are skilled players, and you got to look at the history of LSU players. It's pretty rich. It's pretty rich.
Yeah, but
Now I'm not.
watching Sauce Gardner play though, man, he just got a knack for the ball, and he got an eye for the field too, man. He's always making plays, and he's always where the ball is. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it's no sauce on it's no sauce. It's no knock on sauce.
It's no sauce in the sauce,
Right? I'm not trying to sauce, but it's
right?
no knock on him. I'm just saying if he's wrong, I have no problems with getting Stingley. I think Stingley's a great player also. For the whole season, everyone was saying he's the top rated quarterback. Again, it's that problem is after the season goes on and after you see the Senior Bowl, everything changes up. Those rankings change up because you see how the cream rises to the top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But let me ask,
That train keeps going.
yeah, definitely. Let me ask you, Gio, if you were the GM, how would your first round or your four first rounds? We're gonna do the mock. How would your four first rounds look like? Who are you picking with those picks?
All right. Reality. The first pick will be Gardner. The second one will be Devin Lloyd, and then my third one will be Chris Olave. I can't pronounce his name, bro. You know, Chris
Olave.
Olave. Yeah,
Yeah, love it.
yeah. That's my third pick for my first round. Let me see. I might have to go deep in there. Let me hold up. I have so many things written down, bro.
It's cool. Hey, we got time. We got the time.
Let me see. I have Trey Sherman going in the next round. The running back. I got so many notes here, bro. Like I did so many mocks. It's not even funny. Hold on.
I know that's the thing with mocks. Like you go in there
Yeah, I
intending
had
to
so
do
many
one,
simulated ones, and then
and
like I
you
circled some
keep
of them.
on going.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you want to force your will or you want to force destiny. You know Sauce ain't available, but you're gonna still try any way you can, any kind of scenario to get him on your team.
Corner for the fourth round again, and I would need a center for the fifth. I mean for the next round, the fourth round. Sorry about that. Honestly, because like I have so many names. Like, damn, it's not even. eh, It just is the outcome. We don't know what this draft. That's why earlier when I was saying like if Ojabo wasn't there, like who would you get? Like if Gardner's not there, that's when we go with Derek Stingley. If he's not
Yeah.
there, would you want to go with a offensive lineman? One of the top prospects. So we never know. Oh, I did get him with Watson. If Watson's available, Eagles need to grab him as well.
Who would selfishly like just for you selfishly? Who would you want if you could just pick any player out of college right now that's in this draft? Who would you just pick? He's on the Eagles.
Um, Anybody from there? Of course, it will be Evan Neal.
Just
We need.
anyone that's in the draft this season. If you could just pick, just saying you're guaranteed this one player, you're picking him. That's the Eagles pick. No matter where he falls in the draft, if it's a fifth, whatever it is, just that one player you selfishly want on the team.
Oh man, I would pick. It would have to be no man. It would have to be Kevin Thibodeau.
Kevon Thibodeau. That's a very good one. Very good one. Jerry Lee, if you had that choice, if you could just take one player out of this draft, just selfishly, the guy that you feel that is the best in your eyes, that you want him to be a Philadelphia Eagle, no matter what round he drops to, it's yours. Who would that player be?
I would take the defensive end from Michigan if I could get him.
Is it Hutchinson?
Yeah, Hutchinson.
I like that. I like that. Um,
Aiden
it's
Hutchinson.
for
Yeah.
me, it's super close. It's real close for me because I like the kid out of Alabama, the running back, Robinson. I like his physicality. I just like the kind of player he comes across as.
Is he a
And
power
Winfrey,
back? Is he a power back, or would you say more like a scat back?
he got speed. He pretty much he has it all. He's what do they say? A jack of all trades, master of all none, a master of none. But a master of none is better than one. That's the
True.
whole thing.
True.
He could do just a little bit of everything. I'm not trying to say he's going to be our starter or a feature back. He could be
So
a
he's
great
so he's the Duke.
backup.
So he's the Duke, not the King.
Yes, he's the Duke, not the King. Correct, correct. But like I said, Perry on Winfrey. For me, selfishly, like if I have to choose, that's the guy. I think he has a high motor, very physical, great player, and it fills a need of a position of need.
Yeah, yeah. You go with best player on the board that fills your needs. You know what I mean? That's what I
Yeah.
do. Absolutely.
Now let me ask you, Gio, what's that one player that you're willing to move up for? Like, say you have a great draft scenario and your guy's up there. Who would that guy be?
It would be Ojabo, because I know he's
Mm.
gonna fall early, man. He might fall to. He might. Oh, who knows, man? He might fall to the Giants. They don't pick him.
Yeah, that's something that we don't want to have. We don't want to have that cop pizzle reaction video of how he got over on us. That's
Yeah.
something I don't want to see.
Yeah. We don't want to
Yeah.
get one of those players over there. I'm tired of that.
That's the same guy I was gonna pick. Ojabo, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want them to get him. If I got a chance to get him, I'm getting him.
I don't
For
need
me, I
another
know
pass
the
rusher to
price.
come on us.
Yeah. For me, I know the price is going to be too high. It's too high. But if a scenario would happen where my guy just falls to say maybe 12, 13, if Kyle Hamilton is on the matter of fact, I'll say it like this. If Kyle Hamilton is for whatever reason on the board after 10, I might be inclined to move up and make a selfish move. I might just go back on everything I said and say, you know what? I'm gonna give you 15 and 16. Let me just get up here.
We have a
I
nice
might be
Jalen
that
regular
guy.
trade for it.
Well, hey, listen. Shout out to my man King Kincaid. We're talking about Jalen Regular. That's his name from here on out. Jalen Regular. I don't
Yeah.
think any team would be like really inclined to get anything for him. We could probably get like a fifth or sixth from him right now the way it looks.
If you lucky. If you lucky, you
But
might get a 7.
if a team if a team feels so inclined to have him a part of that trade offer, I'm happy to do it. Kyle Hamilton, I'll be totally happy to do
Mm,
Hey, if Jermaine
it.
Johnson
Now,
is there too, I will move up for him as well.
yeah.
see, like for me, like I said, I think his draft stock fell a little bit, especially during the week in practice he had. Like I said, that kid from Western Kentucky. I don't know why I keep on forgetting the names, but he played pretty good against them. Like they had some battles. There's another kid out of Western Kentucky, D'Angelo Malone, that played well yesterday too. Like I said, there are a lot of defensive players in this draft. Like there's a lot of talent. They might not say there's so much on quarterback, which I don't agree with either. I think there's some good talent at quarterback. It's just this draft is stocked. A lot of
Mhm.
people won't agree with me. A lot of people say there were other drafts. I think this is probably going to be one of the better draft class in a while.
Yeah, I agree
It's
with
going to
that.
be good.
On both sides of the ball.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, let me ask you a question because I would be remiss not to mention it. Gio, let me get your thoughts. Yesterday, we saw the introduction of the Jaguars' new head coach, former Super Bowl head coach for us, Doug Peterson. How do you think that's going to work out? We've seen that it seems like a possibility that Doug is going to have a lot of input in the roster, especially with the draft. Do you think Doug is going to have success, or do you think it's going to be the same old Jaguars just with another coach?
It depends on the coaching staff, but yeah, I think that Doug is going to have his first success in as a Jaguar head coach. Just seeing it was like baffling. Like, man, it's Dougie P going to the Jaguars. I'm excited that we play the Jaguars this year, so it's a homecoming game from him. So it's a smart move. Yeah, I heard there that was part of the agreement that he has so say in the draft and as far as the roster as well.
Yeah. Now let me follow this up though. You've seen that was a big part of his deal. He wanted to get a say so. And we all heard before one of the issues with Doug in Philadelphia was between him and Howie, there was an issue. Howie took more control. Doug didn't have much to say. Doug had control of his coaching staff, but when it came into reference to players, Doug didn't look like he had any control at all. Do you think that now, after this, in hindsight, those stories are true? That for that time, where Doug feels like he was put in a hole, that was because of Howie Roseman.
I think it's because their relationship, dude. They didn't, you know,
Yeah, I think it
leading
happens.
up to the draft, they didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They didn't mix. So
Yeah, I think Khan know what he's doing. I think he won a Super Bowl. Look at his resume, man. Um, yeah, he's gonna just hand them the keys because right now Jaguars just want to win. They're tired of being the laughing stock. They got Trevor Lawrence out there. They just got to utilize protection on him as well. That's why they're gonna get Evan Neal, which I think so. Um, and man, I'm just excited. I'm excited actually because Doug Peterson is the Jaguars head coach. I'm excited for the Jaguars to see where they go.
I'm actually gonna watch some Jags football this year because he is their coach. You know what I mean? I want to see how the story unfolds and to see if our team messed up. You
Hey,
know what I
yep, just
mean?
like I said, now we have hindsight, and now, you know what I'm saying, like things are coming out, like I said, through that contract. So it gives us more of a light into what happened and how it works, this organization is. We've all known that for since Chip Kelly has been gone, there's been a power vacuum. And so far, Howard Roseman is sucking it all up. A lot of coaches don't feel that that's right. You know, like Bill Parcells said, if I'm here cooking the meal, I might as well buy the damn groceries. So
I don't
I
know.
think
I don't know, Vic. His relationship with Nick Sirianni looked pretty tight. I mean, they're fist bumping and stuff. You know what I mean? Like they look like they're tight. So
well, that was one of the things I'm wondering now. Has Howie eased up on that power and allowed his coach to have some input, or is it that Nick Sirianni is just cool the way things worked out and he has a good relationship with Howie? You know, he feels that I do so much now as a coach. I'm not trying to get involved in player personnel like that. But we all
or
know that Nick had his hand in getting Gardner Minshew, so that
or
remains
is
to be
it
seen
Jeffrey
also.
Lurie? Or is it Jeffrey Lurie saying, "Yo, you
Mhm.
need to work with the coach"?
Yeah, I think this season with Doug being in Jacksonville, it's going to be very interesting. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like we're going to base our success in theirs. You know, we're always going to compare now. If Doug has great success and Nick falls down, you know what this fan base is going to do. There's going to be an uproar. Howie's already about to get re-signed, so to call him out won't work. We're going to be. It is what it is for now. But I
he
think it's
probably gonna
very
get a
interesting.
1 year. He probably gonna get a 1 year prove it deal.
Hey, then I know Jeffrey Lurie's serious about this team. Man. If he did
Yeah,
something like that, that would endear him to me a lot. But
yeah.
yeah, like you said, I'm gonna be very interested in watching these Jaguar games. Listen, now I'm seriously interested in seeing the staff that he puts together. I heard Press Taylor might be the OC. What is it? A Martingale out of Baltimore, the former DC. I think he might come into Jacksonville and be their new defensive coordinator. There's a lot of moving pieces for Jacksonville, and it's pretty exciting because if they build that offensive line, Trevor Lawrence, a lot of people are down on him. I thought he played pretty well for a rookie in that circumstance. And then you got to look at their wide receivers and their running back. For me, I think they're pretty talented. If they fix their offensive line, I think the Jaguars can make some noise. Now,
Yeah,
there's a
I
lot
mean,
of
he won
work
a
for
couple
Doug to be
games. He
done.
looked good. He looked good.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
there's a
just
lot of
because they
work to
didn't
be done.
win,
But we'll see.
I won't be surprised if Mike Zimmer go over there.
Oh, please no,
I
please
want him
no.
over
That'd
here. A
be
lot of people don't want him over here, but bro, that man can build linebackers. Hey, bring Anthony Barr here too, bro. If he comes here,
the
big
only
facts.
thing the only thing I don't like about Zim, he's like another Gannon with the zone, bro.
Yeah, but I think with Zim utilized that correctly. Like with Gannon,
he
he
blitzes
feels
a
that.
lot.
He does
Yeah, with
blitz.
Gannon, he doesn't want to put any pressure on the back end. But when you see Coach Zimmer doing it, he's doing it to either enforcedly like Zimmer is not a prevent guy for the most part. Zone is his
Right,
prevent. So you know what
right.
I mean. That's why I like Zimmer.
He's
He
attacking the
understands
zone. Right,
and like I said, Zim's Old Testament. Like he would be our generation's version of a Jim Johnson. Like he
right.
has that effect. And again, he commands respect. And when you see his track record, what he did with Dallas, what he did with Cincinnati, they didn't have much on those teams. Zimmer, got a lot out of those guys. And I would love to see him here because I honestly feel that we should move on from Jonathan Gannon.
Oh, I definitely want to move on from Gannon. I'm not opposed to Zimmerman, but I would rather a different defense. You know what I
Definitely.
mean?
Yeah,
I, we've heard Vic Fangio also, but I think
Yeah,
with him, it's the
I'd
style
rather
of
him.
defense that he runs.
I would rather
Yeah, the
Vic.
style of defense that Fangio runs isn't what we have. We don't have the personnel for it, so we'd have to make a lot of moves on our defense.
Well, we're
Granted, it
doing
isn't
that.
like yeah, I would say granted, it's not like there's a lot of holes that we don't have to fill, but I don't think Philadelphia is going back to that 4-3, which Fangio runs. I think a 3-4, that's where we're at. That's Philly's defense. Back in the day, Buddy Ryan days, but that's so far gone. And we try to go back with Billy Davis, how that worked out.
we went to that
Yeah,
wild nine
Fletcher Cox.
defense. It was good
Chip Kelly was three
Yeah,
four two, wasn't he?
in the wild nine.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying
played
with
for the
Billy
wild
Davis.
nine.
He had Fletcher Cox as a nose tackle for his first, 2, 3 years in the league.
Yeah.
And I don't think Fletcher was very pleased with that. He did what it is, whatever, but I don't think he was very happy being a nose tackle.
You know what got me
It ain't
mad?
his choice.
You know what got me mad about that whole Chip Kelly everything that he got rid of Evan Mathis. Evan Mathis next to Imagine him and Jason Kelsey, bro. Oh my God.
And
He could have.
Shady, bro.
Yeah.
Chase Shady right out
I,
the door.
I would never get over the fact that we traded McCoy for Kiko Alonso. Like it never made like it doesn't
It
even make
hurts.
sense. It
It
never
hurts.
there was no sense behind it.
Listen,
It was
bro.
just you could clearly tell he didn't like Shady.
As a person living in Philly, bro, there was literally people like hyping Kiko Alonso up. I was like, who is this dude? Showing me
I just
highlights from the
remember him because
Instagram reels and all that. I was like, I know, dude.
I remember him as a headhunter. That was it. Like he
Yeah,
was
that's
just
it.
like the definition of a meathead, Kiko Alonso.
Mhm.
Like that's just him. He eats, sleeps, breathes, shits football. Like he's trying to hit people in his sleep. Like that's Kiko Alonso. And
Yeah.
it for the life of me, I could not get how did that trade work out? How did the NFL not step in and say, listen, you're giving away at the time a Pro Bowl running back for what second? I think he was a starter for Buffalo, but for the most part, he was a second, third stringer around the league. Like it
Yeah,
just
you're
didn't make
giving up
sense.
the Lambo for the station wagon, bro.
Facts, you went to downgrade hard. Like your credit must have been bad then. Yeah,
He's like the last
but
player that you feel bad for, and they just picked him up. That's it.
yeah, and
That's
we
what it
seen
was.
he listen. He had hunted his way out of the league. I think Kiko Alonso ended up with an injury. That's what took him out, a head injury,
Yeah.
like too many concussions. And that was another thing. He was never available. He was always hurt. Yeah, Chip Kelly. I'll say this: Chip Kelly set the team back, but not far enough where we couldn't win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, he
Because
gave
some of
us
those picks was
Ertz.
good. He
Yeah.
gave us. Yep.
Well, I'll say this about Chip Kelly. A lot of people talk trash about him,
Lane
but
Johnson.
he honestly changed the league.
Hmm.
Practices. Everybody in this league now runs Chip Kelly practices. You know the music's blaring, you have your setup, everyone's tracking your sleep, tracking what you're eating. Everything is now done. Every regimen is done in the NFL when
Sports
it comes
science.
to yeah, even with training camp. Chip Kelly brought that to the league. That's something he revolutionized. But the thing is, he also revolutionized that up tempo offense. You know, a lot of teams are using
It
that, but they
worked
use it
perfectly
more
for
for
Michael
the
Vick.
yup. But
And
they
he
use
was
it now more
rusty.
for the 2 minute or if they're down. You know, before it was like you run your 2 minute offense. Now it's that up tempo, that Chip Kelly, that spread. That's what they're doing now. So Chip Kelly, you know, he opened a lot of people's eyes in the NFL. But the thing is that he came in with like every college coach does when they come to the NFL. They still have that college coach mentality. You think
Yeah.
you're gonna talk to a grown man like you talk to a teenager? No,
Yeah.
it's not
Don't
working
work.
that way.
Yeah.
That player that you're talking down to makes 10 times more than what you do. Who
Yeah.
are you to say anything to them that way? And, you know, there were some guys that bought into the Chip Kelly thing, but I think those were like the veterans that knew that you got to buy in or you're out.
Yeah. I'm not at your college. You're at my house.
Correct. Yep.
You
That
know?
and you know he ran himself out the league with that, especially with you know what he did with San Francisco. I didn't even get into the whole cap situation because a lot of that Chip Kelly had a hand in that.
Yeah, he won't ever be another NFL coach again unless it's like 10 years later. You know what I mean?
Unless LSU went, what is it? UCLA
And they
wins a
went to the
national
champion.
championship.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
he'll get another shot. But until
Yep.
then, Chip Kelly can stay in college. He does
Yep.
great with running backs. I appreciate him in college. Wasn't made for the NFL. But gentlemen, we're about to hit that 1 hour mark. So let's send this up. Anyone got any closing arguments? Gio, I'll start off with you.
Um, yeah, to as far as like the draft or just anything, like
Just
Eagles
anything in
or
general.
Eagles.
Any,
Yeah,
any
yeah.
closing
So
thoughts?
I love my guys. You know, we with this hurt situation going on with the Hurts hate or whatever. I like the both inputs. You know, I'm also trying to work a round table going on with that debate. I want to like host a debate on both sides with a couple group of guys or whatever because you know his stats is amazing this year. I mean, it wasn't so far that he was just a running quarterback this year, but my man played a playoff game with his with a serious not a serious injury, but an injury that
It
we
was a
worked
serious
on.
injury. He had
Oh,
to
it
get
was.
surgery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, get a surgery or whatever. You know, you got to look at that. You know, you know, like I said, these quarterbacks don't develop, uh, you know, over time. He's got to
Overnight.
learn a new. You know, it was just this dude. This you could say this Eagles team was built on like duct tape or whatever and a couple plywoods. That's
Yeah.
how I look at it in this season. and that plywood held the rain, the storm that everything was going through, and then we seen the sunset at the end in the playoffs. So just give him a moment, man. Let this dude grow. We're gonna have all seasons coming up, so I'm so excited with the draft as well. So let's see. Let's just build around this dude. But mainly defense, man. I want defense. Let's not go with offense. We need defense in this draft, man.
If we would have had a couple pieces on the defense, I think we could have took it to the bowl. To be honest,
Yeah,
Yeah. And those pieces would have been on the linebacker core.
Yeah,
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 that's
Two
why.
confident linebackers could have gotten us a whole lot further.
or a cornerback. A cornerback. We definitely would have seen the light of day for sure.
Heck yeah. Gio, let them know where they can find you, my guy. And if you have anything coming up.
Oh yeah. I got You can find me at Gio from the 215 on all my social media handles. I got a lot of shows coming on. Excited, we got a couple shows. I'm excited to work with y'all on the crypto show as well that's coming up. And Foothills as well. Me and Foothills got a show coming out as well. That was my exciting news as well. We got a show coming
Let's
out.
go. Let's get it. We got a name. We got a name of the show.
Oh
Not
yeah.
yet.
No,
We're
no,
still
we got the
working
name
on
of the
it.
show. I think we're still working on it with the crypto one. We're still working on the name, and then Foothills shot me a one with that I liked or whatever. It was called go back. Me was talking all day, bro. I was ecstatic that he hit me up. Pick Your Poison podcast. That's what it's called.
What is it? I didn't get to hear it.
Pick Your Poison.
Like it.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to work on him. Yeah, but more excited to work on the crypto show with y'all guys too. That's gonna be ecstatic. Like I said, two rookies coming in there, don't know anything, and then we got the big dog Jerrylee right here, always in our head in the chat, always trying to get our pockets bigger, and I appreciate that.
Hey.
Finance master right here.
Yes.
No, I don't know about all that. I'm alright. Yeah, we're gonna win.
Man.
That's for sure.
Heck yeah. Hey, Gio, man, I appreciate you for coming through, my guy. I listen. We're gonna have to do this more. We're gonna have to collaborate more. You're getting back into it. I'm starting to get back into it. Listen, there's gonna be a lot more content coming out. But Jerrylee, you got any final closing thoughts? And let them know where they can find you.
Well, you all enjoy your Super Bowl that's coming up next week. Other than that, you guys know you find me right here. You know what I'm saying? And other than that, everybody have a great night.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
have a great night also. Let me just say this. I think yesterday was a great indicator of the talent that's out there. Like I said, this team this year went above and beyond what we thought they could have done. I'm not talking about the expectations in the preseason because everyone has wild expectations. We had like Burgang 31 talking about we're going undefeated. I'm not talking about those ridiculous expectations.
Panty dropping.
I'm talking about those serious expectations. We were like, listen, if we finish above 500, that's a good year with the first coach. We finished above 500. We didn't win a division. It is what it is. But we got to the playoffs where, no one expected us to. I think this team, they built a great cornerstone to go forward in the future. Now, this is going to be a very trying offseason. Howie has a hell of a lot to do. You think about free agency, the draft. We got the cap taken care of, but let's not go overboard. Let's not try to spend money because we just saved a little bit. So, going into next year, I'm very optimistic. With this draft, I'm very excited. Like I said, there's a lot of talent out there. I don't think you could really mess this up. But again, we have our GM. We have Howie Roseman. We know the kind of guy he is and how he thinks. Sometimes he likes thinking out the box, and it's way out the box. Hopefully, he brings it in. Yeah, man. Hopefully, he does what he did last season. Be practical. Best available is the best way to go. But, I wanted to say everybody that came through today, everyone that will watch in the future, thank you for coming through. My guy, Jerry, it's been an awesome week. Thank you, my guy. To our guest, Gio, I appreciate you for coming through, my guy. Like I said, I can't wait to start working with you more. We're going to get it going. But for everyone out there, thank you for coming through. It's been an awesome week. Congratulations to all those players that, stepped up their draft stock, who will make their futures a little bit better. This is me, Vic3. You know where to find me on Twitter. here supporting my guys, with my guy Jerrylee every week with the big ticket, and with my guy AK, Eagles Uncensored podcast, and Philly Foothills on East Meets West every Wednesday night. Well, for everyone, have a great weekend. Have a great night. We'll see you later.
Peace.
Bunker.